This episode was recorded in fall/winter 2020. I decided to put breaking bread on hold while I focus on my new career in real estate. Now, 2 years later, I wanted to feature the last episode I recorded and bring back new content with a rebrand. I'll have new guest co-hosts with me as I conduct interviews with community favorites and spiritual leaders. Thank you for supporting me. Welcome back to Breaking Bread with Gabby. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Breaking Bread with Allie and Gabby. I'm Gabby Loren.
And I'm Ali Valerio. Today we have an incredible guest. His name is Rabbi Jack Melul, all the way from the United Kingdom, and now resides in Los Angeles, where he co-founded an incredible organization called AishLIT with his beautiful wife, Shira. He also hosts his own podcast, which is called Relatable Judaism. Rabbi Jack, we are so excited for you to be here today to start us off with 2021 with our initial topic.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me.
And the topic Rabbi Jack has come here to talk about, which we're really excited for because I think it's so important that we discuss this based on everything that has happened in 2020 and moving into 2021. We're going to be discussing the strengths we need going into 2021. So thank you, Rabbi Jack.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yes, we need that strength, with what's going on and what we've been through in this past year. It's not been easy. And with those challenges, we get used to certain things. We get used to being in a certain path that we've built ourselves with. And we need strength. We need a lot of strength.
Can we talk about what strength is, Rabbi Jack? Because I feel like strength can be interpreted in so many different ways.
That's exactly what I wanted to actually point out is the Jewish definition of strength. And, we understand that somebody who's strong is someone that's able to overcome their inner inclinations, not necessarily someone who's able to show might, but actually somebody who's able to use that might within and overcome certain situations. For instance, speaking versus being silent, which one takes more strength? You might think that it takes more strength to speak because there's energy involved. But in terms of internal battles, the strength that's needed to be silent is much greater. Someone offends you and you keep silent. Oh my goodness, that needs a lot of strength.
I think for Gabby and I, silence would definitely be harder than speaking up.
Well, me too. That's what I do. I speak. I think that's what strength is. And we need more than anything, internal strength, because, we're talking a lot about COVID, but not enough about mental COVID, what it's doing to people mentally. The fact that so many are alone in their homes without, without family, with just with themselves, and they're not as much social as it used to be. So that's tough. It's not easy.
That's true. So, what are the key things that we need to think about this year to make sure that we are moving into a better space for 2021?
Right. So, I think that from a Jewish perspective, we're taught titkaber ka'ari. We have to, when we get up in the morning, we have to jump up like a lion. We have to bring on certain, what we call in Kabbalah, gvura, discipline. And I'm saying discipline because I don't know the results of what's going to be in 2021. I love how everyone's posting, 2021 is going to be the best year. 2020 is over. It's going to be the best year. I hope so. But we've also got to be realistic. And it's not necessarily, we're not prophets and we don't know what's going to be. But what we do know is that there's been challenges and we need to face them. We need real strength. And the strength that I'm talking about is what we call discipline. And I'll give you examples. We're exposed now to much more hours on our own. There's no one waking us up for work. There's no driving to work for many. There's a lot of being at home. So that means a lot of time can be wasted, a lot of phone time, screen time. My phone starts notifying me about screen time. Do you get that too? Phone health. It's like a thing. It's like a real thing, not religiously, outside of religions, like a real thing. Like, how much am I spending on my phone? How much am I spending with myself? So because we're now just Netflixing for hours, if that's a word, I think it should be a word now. But
I think it is.
because it really is, it's a verb. But because we're Netflixing and it's always available for us, and the phone's always available and it's always ringing, I'll tell you, Shabbat to me these days means so much more. Even my kids and Shira and me, we just like, Shabbat's coming. Just get rid of this phone, you know? So as much as it's great and it gives us so much, convenience and helps us, and we've survived 2020 because of our phones and the technology. But with that convenience comes a great amount of necessary discipline. I was in synagogue, and most people are wearing masks. There's one person that didn't want to wear a mask. And it's just, not to judge or anything, but I don't care whether you believe in it or not, or whether you think this is a helpful thing or makes you more unhealthy. It doesn't matter. But there's a certain sense of discipline, self-discipline. And if I'm able to express that in areas where it's not necessarily convenient for me, then I'm winning. That's, I'll tell you, Gabby and Ali, it makes you more attractive. It makes you more attractive when you can overcome your sense of discipline, and as opposed to just being a person that follows everybody. Like the fish, the fish. How do you know if the fish is alive in the water? You heard this before?
They're in a school? Is that it?
With what? Fish?
Yeah, fish travel in schools.
Right. Yeah. Well, they go in schools. And how do I know for sure it's alive? So I see the fish in water. If it's traveling with a school, doesn't necessarily mean it's alive. It could be that the flow of the water is taking it that way.
Wow.
So what tells me that a fish is for sure alive in the water? You want to know?
Yeah.
Well, when it goes against the flow. A lot of times it goes with the flow, but it needs to go against the flow as well. And that's a big sign that it's alive. Going against something shows me strength. When I build muscle, I need to go against weight in order to build that muscle. So it's not that we should always be fighting, but when I do push against the force, I am building myself a muscle. And that's so applicable to life. It says get up in the morning like a lion. It doesn't say get up like a sheep. It doesn't say get up like a lamb. A lion is a wild animal, but it has energy. And there's beauty in that.
How do you connect that to the story that you were mentioning about in synagogue, the person not wearing the mask?
So, whether you agree with a mask or not, this is the place that you're in. Here, people are taking it seriously. This is the environment. This is the reality. I like it. I don't like it. Okay, fine. But in your own place, when you're not around here, then don't do it. That takes a lot of self-discipline to say that I don't agree with this. It's annoying me, but I have the humility to just put it on because this is what they want me to do. Some people can't take that kind of environment, that environment of discipline, even if it doesn't necessarily go with what I want. I'm going to put on this, even though I don't agree with it right now. I'll go into a store. If that's what the store wants in order for me to go in, then just do it. It's an hour. It's 20 minutes you'll be in the store. Then take it off. There's a certain sense of humility or pride which holds me back from saying I don't need anyone to tell me what to do, or in any sense of what I'm doing in my life. And yeah, even if you don't agree with it, respect the environment you're in. I truly believe that. And also, there are people that are elderly. There are people that are around that it's probably better that you do wear the mask. So I don't really want to get into the mask because it's come so political that when we talk about it, it's like, oh, so that's what you're like. Oh, you're like this one. You're like that. I don't want it to be, specifically about the mask, but just in general, a sense of discipline is, I think, more than anything, is what we need. This year we're going to go into 2021. There's a lot that we don't want. I don't want COVID. I don't want rules. I don't want the fact that bars are closed. I don't want the fact that the the restaurants are not having seated space. There's a lot that I don't like, but can I change that? Is that in my control? The biggest battle is inside me. When somebody walks into a store and says, I'm not wearing this mask, why? Most times it's because there's an inner battle that's bothering you. It's not necessarily the fact that by principle, I don't believe in the mask. Okay, so don't believe in it. Look, when somebody's taking surgery, right, and there's literally an open wound because there's surgery right there, do you think it's necessary for the doctors to wear a mask?
Yes.
Okay, so there are cases where masks do help. There are cases when a mask is necessary if there's an open wound. I mean, that's a danger. That's a life danger.
I know you don't want to sit on the mask issue for too long, but I do want to
Well, it's
provide
because
some
it's a
insight.
it's because it's such a political issue. I wish it was just a normal conversation like we're having now.
Yeah. But it all stems from something that's even more it's more than politics. It's political, but then it's also emotional, it's triggering, it's trauma. Who knows if like some people had trauma when they were young where they felt like their parents were overbearing and giving them rules. And so now as an adult, they're rebelling because they don't feel like they want rules and restrictions on them. There could be so many reasons why
It's
people
a
are
perfect
uncomfortable.
example. So I don't want rules and restrictions, but now I need strength. I need discipline. So
Right.
Because that's such an important thing that I feel like comes up for me all the time is that having that discipline to do Shabbat every Friday or to pray to God, there's all these mitzvot, right, that we're supposed to follow as Jewish people, but it takes a lot of strength and it takes a lot of discipline to be Jewish. Like you can't just be like, oh, I'm Jewish. So, what are some things that we can do as individuals on a daily basis in order to garner more strength and to have more discipline? Like, are there specific mitzvot that we should be following, or just how would you structure your day in order to be stronger and to be more disciplined?
that's a really good question. I think that it's little by little. You know, discipline takes small little things that can change our way of living. It's just a small thing. It's like in relationship, it's in many areas of life. A lot of times it's this small little transition in the way I've been living because we're very habitual and we get used to, okay, I'm relaxed. I need to be on my phone now for 3 hours and I'm used to it. I need to have a Netflix. So in order to come out of our routine of habit, I think there's small things that we can do that can really make a difference. So even just Natilat Yadayim in the morning, that's such a simple thing. But because I'm thinking of Natilat Yadayim, washing my hands, as soon as I get up and doing it in a specific way, even though it's such a simple, minute thing, but it's starting to bring into my inner self discipline. If you're asking, how do we get to have a sense of discipline? It takes a small thing to stop my routine of habit, which is not necessarily the right habit, and it starts already turning things for the better. So, for instance, somebody's got bad eating habits. Even if you might say, I can't stop all my cakes, I can't stop everything, I can't go cold turkey and work out at the same time. For some, maybe it's just that small commitment to joining a gym, or maybe that's a big commitment, but maybe a small commitment like from now on, I'm not going to, for the first hour of the morning, I'm not having any sugar. Right? So that small commitment is doable, and then it can grow on you throughout the day, and eventually you'll be able to strengthen yourself as a person that completely can control yourself. That's how I believe discipline is.
Can you also substitute for discipline? So, like, for example, if you're trying to get over your sugar addiction, maybe you substitute with like a stevia or a monk fruit so that you can at least be putting in healthier sugar and then maybe minimizing the amount and then slowly getting rid of it as opposed to like cold turkey immediately.
Substitute.
So that's a good question. I'm not a dietitian. There's some areas where I believe it needs to be cold turkey, like real addiction, like smoking. In order to quit, it needs to go cold turkey. There's no such thing as partly doing it. What you've got to do is completely just break that shell and leave. So it definitely depends on like what situation you're asking. But I'll tell you this: if you substitute your lack of sugar for that hour with a fake sugar, then there's going to be a lot of side effects. There's a lot of other things that can happen. Maybe there'll be binging of a lot of, you're not really recovering. When I say for an hour, have discipline, at least in that hour, have a complete discipline. It's like when you do Shabbat, okay, you can't do Shabbat completely because, I've never done it before. So I can't do a 25-hour Shabbat, but do a few hours of Shabbat, but do it properly. Don't be fake with yourself when it comes to discipline. For the hour or two that you're actually doing it, do it legitimately, properly. Spend 3 hours without your phone when Shabbat comes in. Next week, maybe do 4.5. Make that 3 hours legit.
My coach in soccer used to say, when you're all in, you'll go all out. And that just like reminds me kind of Judaism. It's like, make a decision, then make a commitment, then follow through. And like once you start, slowly committing to things, it starts to become easier and easier to commit to other things. What are some simple things that we could, let's say someone's not religious or they want to become more observant of Judaism, what are some disciplines that you could start doing on a daily basis that would help you kind of integrate into a Jewish lifestyle?
So this question actually was asked to some big rabbis, like the big rabbis of Israel. Rabbi Yashiv, who's not alive anymore, passed away about 10 years ago. Some big rabbis were asked this question, and they actually said things that are surprising. They said, wash your hands before you eat a meal. Before you eat bread, wash your hands. We do Netilat Yadayim before you eat bread. That's not even a requirement in the Torah. It's a rabbinical requirement. He said, wash your hands before you eat bread. Why? Because that person realized as soon as he started doing that, the meals start coming more meaningful. Those things come more, and then he grows on you. But I definitely do believe that the morning blessings, the tefillah, prayer in the morning, is something that's really, really meaningful and purposeful. It will give you a sense of happiness. That's a great place to start committing in your day, in the morning, to say the morning blessings. Being thankful for your eyes, for your body, for your ability to walk. There's 15 different blessings in the morning blessings that we say. Within Modani, yes. So it's what we call Birkot HaShachar. I actually made a video on the morning blessings. There's Modani, then we say, we're thankful that the soul that I have is back in me and I'm awake and I'm back alive again. And then we say 15 different brachot, blessings, all about the body. And it's the fact that I can see. And before you say it, you close your eyes, you think, I can't see now. Look, I can't see. And then you make the blessing when you open your eyes. I can see now. Pokeach Ivrim, for giving vision to the blind. I was blind overnight. When I say those blessings, I have an internal gratitude. And that's going to affect my Judaism as well, like on the broader scale. Because when I recognize how much I have in my life and how much good I have in my life, that gratitude has to go somewhere. I need to express it somewhere. And it starts translating into the way I speak to people. It translates into the way I look at people. It translates into my dating. It just goes beyond.
I think this is a really good way to segue into, with all that's happened in 2020 and all of the people that had like either a loss or dealt with like their livelihood and having like, their business in turmoil or whatever the situation may be, whatever personal internal struggles they've been dealing with. How do you walk into 2021 and find the gratitude, find the things that you can be happy for, the positives in every situation, if you're feeling so down and negative and like there's no hope in sight? What would you say to that person?
That's a really good question. We have a rule in Judaism, and I think this really applies to that as well. The external impacts the internal. I'm sure you may have heard of it now that you've done a lot of these talks. But the external actually impacts my internal, meaning even if I don't believe in things, if I do something externally, it would actually impact me internally. For instance, if I feel really down, do you know what you should do to make yourself excited again?
You should give to others.
Well, that could help. But what does Maimonides say? It's a good answer, right? Giving to others will do it, but why would it do it? And I'll say even easier, without giving to others. That will definitely help. Put on your best clothing that day. Make yourself feel and look really good that day.
In your sleep.
Exactly. And that would impact your inner feeling. That would start making you feel like, wow, I am special. I am good. You know, buy yourself something beautiful that day. Make yourself externally feel special, and that would have an impact to you on the internal as well. That's if you feel very low, no self-value, no self-worth. Go to the other extreme externally, and that would actually impact you internally as well. So somebody who's depressed and is really sad and there's a loss, go on a vacation, go on a jog for an hour or two. Have that external impact on yourself, which would then have an internal impact on yourself as well. Even if I don't believe in it, just I'm depressed and this, fine, just get on a bike and go. The rest of your day will be much better. Work on gratitude. That's why we have brachot. We have all these things that we do in Judaism to really work on our happiness and our internal gratitude, finding the good in the situation that I have. Emunah is such an important factor as well. Knowing that whatever I'm going through right now is part of a picture that I can't see the full picture. I'm only seeing the current moment. But the wisdom is to always know that there's something better that's going to happen for me. I don't understand this. This is happening for a reason, and it's really going to come out for the better. And it's all Hashem's bigger plan. So that's also a big aspect of what we need is faith.
Can you explain emunah to our listeners, and also what was the other one for faith? It's emunah and
Bitachon.
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 Yeah, what's the difference?
There's emunah and bitachon. Trust means that I trust that whatever's going to happen in the future is for the best. Okay, so I trust Hashem. I know that whatever's going to happen to me in the future is going to be better for me. It's going to be the best for me. It's going to be. Emunah is I actually know that it's going to be better for me. So not only do I trust, but I actually come to a place where I know that it's going to be better for me. How can I explain emunah in general? I always give the example of somebody who's standing there and there's somebody behind him to catch him, right? And if it's a friend that always does jokes with you and he says, lean back, I'll catch you. So you're going to say, really, you'll catch me? But I know you always do jokes with me. You always do these funny things. You know, I don't trust you. And if you wouldn't lean back, if you know that person is always doing, tricks on everyone, you wouldn't lean back because you know that he might just like drop you or let you fall on the floor. But if it's somebody that you're really close to, that you've built a relationship with over the years, then you're okay with that person saying, hey, look, just relax and stay. I'll catch you. You're okay with it. You're much more okay dependent on who you're with. So the way that you build emunah or bitachon, both of those things, is through first recognizing how much Hashem has done for you till now, right? Which is where bitachon will come in. And also believing and knowing that this is what's going to happen in the future as well. So you can't have a trust. You can't have trust in Hashem if you don't have a gratitude relationship. If you've never worked on it till now, then the bitachon won't happen in the future as well. Emunah is really about letting things just be, like relaxing, and I know it's going to be fine. I've done everything I can. I put in all my effort, and now it's just not up to me. It's up to Hashem, right? That kind of mindset, which is really important to survive and to succeed. If it's in my control, I'll do it. If it's not in my control, then why am I being worried about it? What's the point of all that anxiety? And that's where it comes in, this idea that there is a creator of the universe, there is a purpose in everything that happens. And I know that this is all going to happen and come out for the better.
Amen. Is anything in our control?
Yes.
Free will.
Free will. It says, Hakol min hashamayim, chutz mirat shamayim. Everything is in Hashem's control, besides for the fear of Hashem. And there's another statement somewhere else, which says that everything's up to Hashem, besides for getting cold or warm, which means Hashem also gave you the opportunity to look after yourself. You can't be stupid and say, okay, I'm going to just walk in the snow without a coat and just stay warm, and not get a cold and not get sick. So within the realm of being healthy, there is, your effort that's involved, which is what's required of you, what's the norm. And then there's things that's beyond our control. When it comes to health, the Talmud says most people, they pass away before the time that they are meant to because of food. Meaning most people are not eating right. That's because of the sin of Adam on a deeper Kabbalistic level. Traditionally, we don't really know exactly which foods are meant to be perfectly for us all the time. But one thing's for sure, most of us harm our body because we don't eat perfectly right. When it comes to constantly eating unhealthy food, and then I'm like, hey, Hashem, look, why did you make me unhealthy at the age of 50? Well, if you didn't eat correctly for most of your life, then it's in your hands. Stop blaming God. It's in your hands. What's within our control is within our control. What's normal to be in our control, that is in our control. What's not is not.
What a rabbi answer.
Well, I'll give you an example, okay? This is a really good example. A rabbi went into a family's home and they were mourning because they lost a child. And they lost the child because the child jumped off. They had a 3-story house, and on the top story, the child was by the window, God forbid, very sad, and fell from the window. And he walks into the house. He didn't say anything, but they were saying, we have emunah, we have faith. And he walked out and he was very disturbed. He said, why are you blaming all of the mistakes that you made on God? It's not always about blaming Hashem. There were windows that were left open, and that window should have some kind of security there. Kids in the room, that window should have some kind of security. It's very good to have faith, but also only once I've done my effort. When I have put in my effort, then I know I've done my fullest. So then I know that really it is in the hands of God and it wasn't my fault. Okay, so that's really the example that I'm trying to show, is like, yes, you have to have faith, but you also have to put on a coat when you go outside. You can't be a person that says, I'm just going to live a life supernaturally because I'm connected to Hashem and I believe in God. So therefore, I'm never going to put in any effort.
I
That's
always
not how the world
hear
works.
that you have to have the action behind it too. So exactly what you're saying, Rabbi Jack. If you look at it from like a 2020, 2021 perspective, it's the same thing about not wearing masks. Like if you know and just believe that God is going to protect you no matter what, you still can't be, I don't know if frivolous is the word, but like going out and not wearing masks, exposing yourself to people that may be sick and then spreading it around because you don't know how that's going to impact you or other people. So it's making that one choice, even though you believe in God, to be ignorant, I guess, and not considerate of God or other people. And so I see that in exactly what you're saying in this last year, for sure.
Yeah.
And I did want to ask you, going back to this Emunah and Bitachon conversation and the difference, could it be also that as you age and get older, that you have more bitachon from going through life, from
Yes.
experiencing more life and situations and developing and growing as a soul?
That is a very important point. Yes. And as time goes on, the responsibility for Emunah Bitachon grows with you as well. So if somebody has grown to not find gratitude in what they've been experiencing through their life until now, then it will be the challenge of emunah bitachon will get harder. But if they've trained themselves to see the good in every situation that they've been through, to be grateful in every situation, so then the strength of their emunah bitachon will grow stronger, and they will be able to overcome all the challenges in the future much more. And it's true, as time goes on, there are more challenges. You know, you have kids, then you have a house.
It never ends.
It never ends, right? So as time goes on, there's more responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
How will you survive without emunah and bitachon as time goes on? And then
I mean, you have like 5 kids, a wife, running a business and a foundation, and people that you're taking care of. Like, how do you do that? You just with emunah and bitachon?
With the mix of putting in my effort, but also a tremendous amount of faith that I've built through my upbringing and through emunah, and through my wife. She's taught me so much emunah. I learn from her every day. But emunah is the key. I would never have done anything. Hey, you can't get married without emunah. As much as you think you know somebody, there's gonna be a point where you have to jump in and commit to that person. So, going around full circle, discipline means that you jump into that situation. You jump into the situation knowing that this is going to be fine, because I've seen how it's been going fine till now. And I know that it will go fine in the future as well.
And I think you also are taking action by having discipline, because in order to be disciplined, you're taking actionable steps to be in control of yourself. Correct?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And that's like what we said, is how discipline takes much more effort than no discipline. Even though sometimes having no discipline means let's say speaking versus being silent. Speaking means much more effort. Silent means much less effort. But one actually is much more work, and that's being silent. That's much more discipline.
I have a really important question for you. When you go into a marriage, do you automatically have emunah or bitachon or both?
So you build them, and you have to go in it with a certain sense of emunah, and because you can't know fully who this person is. You've never lived with them properly. You've never been committed to them. Even if you've never been committed to them fully. Now there's like this real commitment between each other, and you don't know how things are going to come out. So when you go in there, there's a huge amount of emunah, and then as you go through, you strengthen your bitachon on this person, on knowing that this person is the right person. Look how I've grown on it, and how much I've got to know them, and how much everything has worked out till now. And as your time goes on, you see like how everything's been a miracle till now anyway. Suddenly the baby comes and you're like, whoa, this is insane. Like, how am I a parent? This doesn't make sense. As time goes on, you see more miracles and more miracles. And then the emunah bitachon strengthens. So you go in with a tremendous amount of emunah, and you hopefully grow and have even more,
Yeah, so I'm picturing like a train, like you're getting on a train, you have emunah that the train's going to get you to the destination safe, and a safe journey on the way. And along the way you pick up luggage or people, and that's the bitachon as you keep going through life. So that's my analogy of like understanding this concept. Like you come in with the emunah and you slowly pick up bitachon here and there and add it, to your life. So I really, enjoyed this conversation. I think,
Me too.
to wrap this up, I would love to hear from you if there's anything else besides, the things we've already mentioned that we can bring into 2021 to live a better year and to have more abundance, and to really create the life that we want to create that's a little bit more cheery and joyful.
Right, exactly. I think that thinking about discipline and moving beyond that, because life isn't only about discipline, but beyond the discipline, we need to remember and never forget what this year has given us, how much we need to cherish life, how much we need to cherish the moments, the basic moments that we've had together before all this happened. The events that we have, the community that you have, the people that care for you, how life is so vulnerable and it's not a joke. We can't forget this. I've had a big debate with people. What's going to be when COVID ends? Is it going to be that everyone's going to go back to like partying on a much higher level? Because
I
like
think
we
people are
missed
going to
out.
go crazy, by the way. Like
Right.
first day we open in California, at least.
Crazy. Is it going to be like crazy? I mean, I don't think it's going to be something immediate. It's definitely going to be gradual, the process. But is it going to be this crazy thing that there's, you know, as a rabbi reaching out to young Jews, are they going to be like, Rabbi, sorry, I'm too busy right now? Right? Is that the kind of vibe that's going to happen? Or they're going to say, wait a second, I really need more Judaism in my life. I want to get more involved. I want to grow. I want to think about marriage now seriously. Like, which one of those two do you think is going to happen?
I hope for the one that you mentioned that they say, I want to grow spiritually. I want to be more connected. I want to get married. These are my priorities. They've switched. That's what
Right.
I'm hoping for.
Right. Because of it. What do you think, Ali?
I think it's going to be a mixture. Like, I was talking to one of my clients the other day, and she was going through a really rough time. Like what Gabby and I were just saying, it's like she was feeling really depressed. Like 2020 really just knocked her. And I was like, I think you need to strengthen your faith right now and maybe start like praying a little bit more and like having more faith that everything is happening for you, not to you. So I think the people that have faith in the process are not going to go as crazy as the people who are just like, I was confined, right? Like the caged animals that felt like they were being restricted. So it's going to be both. The shattering of the vessel. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, there's a choice. Everyone's got a choice.
I actually do think, though, it's important to acknowledge that it's okay to have these feelings, to not feel so great or to feel depressed and
Of
to
course.
have emotions. Like that's part of the human experience. I think to just say, oh, forget that, let's move out of that phase as fast as possible. No, I think we need to feel it. We need to experience it because that is what allows us to grow and also be retrospective and look at what you've come from and where you've come from and how you've become a better person because of those things.
Yeah, I mean, of course you have to acknowledge it, but and then what Rabbi Jack is saying is also like waking up with gratitude and like thanking God for everything that you have. I really
Yes.
feel like a big part of my journey in this past year, I'm so grateful to be alive, and I feel like super abundant because I've become stronger in my faith. And I really think that that is like the underlying reason that people either go crazy or they like hold on tight and they keep moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, I think that goes back to also what Rabbi Jack said about taking those action steps. Like you take those small actions to get yourself out of that place that's holding you back.
Mhm.
But also Hashem gave you those experiences to feel and experience it. So
To
it's
learn
kind of
from.
like you have the evil inclination, right? And then you have like whatever else is out there after that. So you have to have both experiences.
Yeah, the choice will be there. That's for sure.
Amen. Amazing. Well, Rabbi Jack, we really enjoyed speaking to you today. You're so incredible. Where can people
Thank
find
you.
you? I know you also have a podcast. So how do we get a hold of you for our listeners?
So you can go on Spotify or iTunes. Our podcast is called Relatable Judaism. I'm also on YouTube. All our classes are on video on YouTube as well. And there's lots of interesting stuff. Hopefully, we're going to put on a lot more content as well in the future. It's
And what
awesome.
about AishLIT?
AishLIT, that's our organization. Yes, AishLIT is the organization. And my name is Jack Melul. Our Facebook is Shira Jack Melul. And AishLIT.com.
AishLIT's a really great organization for young professionals and people post college, right? That
Yeah.
they can connect to Judaism and also meet a community. So, if you guys are interested in learning more, being a part of that, definitely check it out and connect with Rabbi Jack or Shira. All right. Thank you so much, Rabbi Jack, once again. And if you
Thank
guys like
you.
this episode, please leave a comment or a thumbs up and subscribe. We really appreciate it. And we wish you so many blessings and send you miracles for the year 2021 and to go in with a positive outlook and to really take some of the tools we learned today into this year to really make it a great year for you. Thank you again, and we will see you next time. Love your two favorite Jewish girls, right, Allie?
And Rabbi Jack.
Bye.
Bye.